Well. We are live. Welcome to another episode of Nine Nerd Yards. It's your boy Blake, Money Blakeweather. Hi. Happy, what is it, January 3rd? I can't believe this month has already gone by so quick. I hope everybody out there is staying warm. It's cold everywhere, so just stay warm. Put us on your TV or phone or wherever you're staying warm and bundled up, and feel free to watch us. We're about to dig in to the HBO show Last of Us. I wasn't on last week's episode. Nine and producer Terry took it over, but they're like, bruh, we need y'all back. We need the crew. We got to assemble for this third episode, and here we are. So let's introduce the panel and hop right into it. You know him. You love him. Freezing his balls off in Denver, Colorado. It's producer Terry. Producer Terry, what's going on, man? Terry, we cannot hear you, bro.
Had you on mute. It's finally warmer. Yesterday was -6. Now we're at a really nice and toasty 2 degrees.
Oh,
so I love Denver. I love
bikini,
bro. If you ever need to warm yourself up, just head straight to Twitter. Go hate on some M. Night Shyamalan or Camille. And that'll warm your heart right up, I'm sure.
You know I'm gonna go see that new one, Knock at the Cabin Door. I'm gonna go see it, and I'm gonna be.
We're gonna talk about it. You're gonna watch it with a lot of hate in his eyes and just be like, I'm looking for a reason to walk out is what he's doing. Yeah, I believe it. I believe in you. Well, you know who doesn't believe in us on Mondays, but we still love him. It's Jeff. So producer Terry had to replace him on Mondays and going forward, probably for the Last of Us breakdowns. We have the lovely Kirsten Cobb. Kirsten, how's it going?
Good. Just,
How are the mean streets of Las Vegas treating you?
Oh my God. I hate it. I'm tired. That strip can kick rocks. They're charging for parking again everywhere. And it's like, now who's saving your businesses when nobody's coming? The locals. At least 20%. Like, come on. We want a discount.
Right. Hashtag we want a discount. Yeah, put that on a shirt. Make everybody wear it. And hashtag we want a discount.
Hashtag half cob.
I have like 2 people that want to wear it. That'll be it.
I love it. Kirsten, thank you so much for joining us tonight. And you know him. You love him. He is the El Presidente, El Capitan, the one leading us in our mission for the Last of Us. It's Nine from Nine Nerd Yards. Nine, why are you laughing over there, bro?
Oh, I just love the introduction. Thank you very much. And thank you, Kirsten, for joining us tonight. You'll be kind of our resident expert because, again, this is not a podcast or stream, I should say, with hardcore fans of The Last of Us. It is for the layman, or should I say, the rest of us. So, but since you've already played all of the video games, you can kind of like be our expert. Maybe not give us too many spoilers going ahead. But how are you today, Blake?
I'm well. I'm just trying to stay warm and not infected. So I think it's fantastic.
It's a good start.
That's all I can say. That's all I got to say about that in the words of Forrest Gump. So I want to hop right into this though, because none of us have played the video games. Kirsten, how accurate was this episode to something that happens in the game? I know that there's an event that occurs like this where Ellie and Joel, they do end up at the city or wherever Bill and Frank live. How accurate would you say this is?
Farm.
Yeah.
There's
Safe Farm. That's right.
Apart from the characters' names of Bill and Frank and their implied relationship, they totally diverged from the game, and I think it was better for it. They fleshed it out. Yeah. In the game, it's more of a not to spoil the game for anybody out there, but it's been out for like 7 or 8 years, almost 10 years.
Mm-hmm. That's fine.
It's implied that they may be together when he says that they're partners, and the way that he's kind of emotionally reacts to the death of that character of Frank. But other than that, it's more of an interaction between Joel and Ellie and him in the game to progress the game forward, because it's all about
I
the
just want to
combat.
throw this out. Does anybody else get confused when people say, "Oh, I'm with my partner"? I'm like, "Oh, you're gay," and then they're not gay, and then you don't know. And I've had that happen to me. I want to be politically correct, but like people say the word, so I never really know how. Or I'm like, is it your partner in crime? Are you a thief in the evening? Do you moonlight? Like, I never really know. So okay, so it's just wanted to throw that out there when I heard the word partner.
I think that's why they use the word in the game partner, because they just, it's that whole let's offend no one, but appease some people. But it just keeps it ambiguous. You can kind of draw your own conclusions. What I got from the game was that they were partners. They were gay. They were together.
Okay.
In some sense,
right.
At least post-apocalyptic.
Okay. So there's not a quick action scene where I have to flirt with a man at dinner so he doesn't kiss me.
No, yeah. There's no like quick action event where you have to like pour the bottle of wine smoothly.
Yeah.
You gotta like make sure the even pour is going.
Weird level right here, but I'm
triangle to gently caress. No.
You have to press the buttons in a certain order to play the piano, kind of like Guitar Hero. It's a Guitar Hero section. I love it. Yeah.
They took a narrow, small concept and they just flew with
it. Oh, that's great.
I gotta say, it completely worked. I think that it was even just a kind of departure of what I was expecting for the TV show from like what we got from the first 2 episodes. I mean, it's got to be the gayest episode of television ever, right? And I loved it. And it was just a really romantic, slow burn in the middle of this post-apocalypse that I was just not expecting at all. But it still had these very good Joel and Ellie moments mixed in there too, where I was like, oh, there's a good purpose and reason of why we saw this relationship play out and how it's going to be affecting Joel's decision making in the future episodes.
Right. Yeah. And I loved. I don't know if you felt, Kirsten, because you played the video game, but the fact that they picked Nick Offerman to play Bill, I was like, oh, I love this character.
Yeah. Dead on. The way that character is in the video game, he is abrasive, but has some like humor to him. And I feel like Nick Offerman is so good at doing that. He just strikes that balance so perfectly. And he's just a phenomenal actor who Terry hated until today.
Well, yeah, Terry hates everybody.
Let's hook up
Terry, why'd
it started? Okay, well,
Terry, why did you write him nasty DMs?
So yeah,
dear Nick Offerman, you are.
I didn't like him in Parks and Rec. I don't like that type of like. I hate everything and everybody like character that he was playing on Parks and Rec, and it's just like, man, just go do something else. Your life is like, I'm such a hater. I hate on other haters. Like I can't stand.
Oh, bro, that's what it is.
What are you waiting for? Your life isn't that bad.
Yeah.
Never liked that character, and I just, I'm a big fanboy. I love Pedro now, so I was definitely here for him. And then seeing Nick Offerman was going to be in this episode, I was ready for disappointment. So ready for disappointment, and I take everything I said back bad about Nick Offerman.
Well, I'll be honest, I was ready to be annoyed by him too, just simply because of how the character Bill is in the game. He's not annoying so much as he's just so abrasive that you want to choke him, and you're just done with that part. You're like, if I don't get this car battery and get the fuck out of here, no more game time for me. And so I was expecting them to play it out exactly how it goes in the game, and I was so pleasantly surprised that it wasn't that. It was just really good TV.
I think what helps is that they start him in opposition of Fedra, and they show you that Fedra is Nazis. Like,
right.
That they were just killing innocent people, and you see the crazy dude that you would normally make fun of be like, no, you're absolutely right. This dude's a genius right here. He saw it.
Exactly, yeah. Like this scene, you're like, oh man, this guy, is who I want to be, just in the basement,
right? The double basement,
watching it all happen. The double basement, like someone they're checking his basement, but he's like, "Oh, I'm still under y'all. I'm still under y'all."
In line with that, Terry, my favorite line of the episode was when he's like, "You think the government are Nazis?" He's like, "They are." And he's like, "Well, we know that now."
No, like, not always.
Yeah, back then. Before. They were great stand-up guys until about 10 years ago.
Right.
That line got me, and I was just like, bro, Nick Offerman's a guy that listens to Alec Jones, and I fuck with it. All right.
Yeah,
I'm all about it.
He's old hat at that. That's not his first time in the basement.
Right. It was kind of like a role where it just works.
Yeah.
But
I feel like it's been good casting all around so far. I mean, a lot of people pushed back against Pedro Pascal being Joel for a minute, and then they sort of got into it. But he's kind of perfect for that job. I mean, he's been doing it as the Mandalorian for like 4 years now. As
right,
give him an orphan child, and he will run wild with that role.
He's got it.
He takes care of that orphan child better than my own parents have taken care of an orphan child. So you know what, like. Pedro Pascal, come adopt me. Like that. Let's go do that. Let's go run the.
Do you need to talk about something? you need to talk about. Okay. But yeah, and then also we have Murray Bartlett.
Yeah.
How do you pronounce his last name? Bartley.
I don't know. I don't see it.
Was a very good. Opposite.
There's
for Nick Offerman's grizzled tough guy act. And I love that it was in the previews too, where he's just like, they don't. Arby's is a restaurant. They don't have lunch. Like, what are you talking about?
At the same time, you knew what he meant. And like, you know what the fuck.
I really like that. Should we start from the beginning of the episode and kind of work our way?
Yeah, because the beginning once it sets up some really good stuff again.
Mm-hmm.
Kick us off, man.
Beginning parts of the episode.
So we do pick up. This is after Tess blew herself up after smooching that one mushroom guy, and we got Joel. He's making a unmarked grave just out of rocks, and I was just like, oh, that's gotta be Tessa's.
Yeah,
and then
I was like, oh, he's making a pile.
He goes back and hangs out with Ellie, and at first he's like, I don't want to hear sorry or anything like that, but she's like, no, I'm gonna keep it player. That shit, not my fault. I did not get y'all into that. Listen here, my guy. Don't blame me. And I thought that was kind of like, wow, Ellie is.
I want to point out something that bothered me about Joel, and it's a really subtle thing, but you won't know unless you know. So, in the last 2 episodes, he is supposed to have a fractured hand. As somebody that has experienced a fractured hand, both from like boxing, but also my last time I fractured my hand was the night Conor McGregor lost, and I punched 3 holes in my wall at my old apartment. I fixed them up though, but I was really drunk, and so I punched 3 holes. So I had to go back to work this was Saturday. I had to go to work on Monday. Everything else, I mean, I was fully functional, but my hand was completely swollen. It was fractured, and I couldn't throw it in kickboxing for like 3 weeks or 3 months. And to make a fist was one of the most painful things. And the most you can do is sort of like just like pinch your fingers together very loose. So the amount of times that he's gripping things with this fractured hand, it pulls me out. I'm like, his hand's not fractured. His hand's not fractured. Bro, his hand's not fractured. And then it looks different. No, wait a minute. His hand looks different from how it looked. He had the 2 knuckles that had a lot of bruising on them. And all of a sudden he has the third one's now bruised. No, ma'am. No, sir. That is unacceptable, and that is inconsistent, and I do not like that. He should have broke his hand for this character. He would have been in character.
Blake, but you're forgetting one thing. You know what he did?
No, I'm not.
He put his hand into the river. Did you put your hand in the river when you broke your hand?
No.
Yeah.
No.
See? Fucking idiot.
I iced the hell out of it for like a month. I figured that would do something.
Yeah, but you got to get that pure river water.
Pure river water, man.
Water's Lake Minnetonka.
I will remember that.
Yeah.
I will remember that for next time.
You're probably
Thank
using
you,
Dasani or something.
Right.
But yeah, I did just like how she kept it player with him, but I was just like, Ellie is just mean, and I love her, but I hate her so much. She is the worst, but also
she
pretty
softens. Cool. I think she'll soften the next couple of episodes, but he's also kind of a little hateful with her too, so it's a good play back and forth. But I feel like she's almost less hateful in the games, though. I don't know, or maybe I tuned her ass out after a little bit because she's
not as like bratty or in your face like
she's not as bratty. Like, she's abrasive as fuck, but she's not as angsty like teenager going through some shit. She's more like a hardened survivor who just happens to be stuck in a 14-year-old's body in the game.
Okay, that's a good way of putting it. But
she's a little shithead.
She is a little shithead. And where they make their way before going to Frank and Bill's, they have to go to the stash spot that Joel has, and he's having a kind of hard time finding where he put all of that stuff. But we get some bit more character development with Ellie. I was always picking up that she was like some type of psychopath, or like that she has like a little bit of
such a weird direction. That's another one. Like, I don't pick up on psychopath in the game so much as just hardened. So the fact that she's like peeking around when somebody's getting killed or stabbing this poor fucker in the eye, it's a direction that this actress has chosen to go, and the show's character development has chosen to go. But it's different. It works, but it's weird.
Dion,
I'm with him. Shout out to Dion.
Nice.
Oh, you gotta check it out, man. Dion may be on the cast with us on Thursday to talk about you people. So keep your eyes out for that.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
I was confused how she knew so much about Mortal Kombat 2.
It's from her friend who played it. I have a theory that like
they're getting
her friend. Okay, so it's got to be her friend.
Yeah, they're getting to it. They're getting to the friend.
Okay.
So yeah.
What was the winking of the friend? Is it a partner? Is that why you winked?
It's a partner, possibly. I mean, I don't want to ruin it for those who haven't played the game, but maybe another partner situation.
All right. I'm just gonna do that from now on. When people say partner, I'm just gonna be like, "Oh, partner," and then I'll just see what happens.
Partners.
I mean, at first when they said their names in episode 2, I thought they said Bill and Frankie. So I was expecting like an old man and like an old woman, like grizzled, hardened couple.
Oh yeah.
So it was a big surprise when they corrected and said Frank, and I was like, "Oh, it's a dude, and they're dudes." And like 10 minutes into the meeting, I was like, "Oh, they're both gay." I was like, "Oh, these are two gay men. That's easy to tell."
Yeah, it's an easy adjustment, you know.
I appreciate you. Yeah, I had to get starting to dread up, bro. I was starting to dread bad. I couldn't take it.
Make sure you leave that like, motherfucker.
Because I appreciate you. Do the like.
Leave that.
Do the right thing.
Yeah. Give that thumbs up.
We can cuss a lot more once we're like 10 minutes into the episode, according to YouTube guidelines.
Sorry, I
just kind of like.
We're already like 20 minutes in. We can say shit, fuck all the
stuff. So let loose, guys.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So what I was realizing is that, let's see if I can get to it. Yeah, just the way that Ellie was looking at this guy. She is kind of ruthless, and like how she kind of like flicks out her knife.
Yeah, Deadeye's like a shark.
Deadeye's like a shark, and I don't know.
She's got shark eyes for sure.
But obviously we can. see if I can pull that up for a better.
I thought she was trying to find some humanity left in him.
Thank you, sir.
Feeling the like, maybe
filling out the situation
human underneath that, because she brought that up to Joel. It was like, how do you feel about killing them, knowing they were like human?
Right, and then she just
felt like she was looking for validation to be like, I don't care anymore. I was like, good, because I don't care either. I want to kill him.
Right.
I love it. She is like, because nobody ever wants to find a kid in the post-apocalypse. Like, that's the worst thing.
It's so fun to be had, but
I just feel like this face right here is like her inner soul. You know what I mean? Just always like that. Oh my God.
Just
what a kid.
Completely insane.
But she did find some tampons or whatever, and I'm like, yeah, that must suck.
She found the good ones too.
Yeah, the high quality one. Yeah, that's gotta be a shitty situation.
At least now they're free in the post-apocalyptic world.
Right. Yeah.
free tampons for I was gonna say free tampons for all women as long as you survive the apocalypse. Like that's fantastic.
Consolation prize.
But yeah, theory confirmed. I remember when we were watching this, Terry, you were because you brought up last week
the flower.
The flower, yes, the flower.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, okay. And can you explain that again, Terry? What's going on there?
Well, starting off in season 2, in episode 2, we're in Jakarta. Jakarta is home to the biggest flour mill in the entire world. So lots of places get their flour from Jakarta. And then we find out that it happened at a flour factory. The doctor confirmed that the outbreak started there. And then we go back to season 1 and we see all the first characters, the old lady, her daughter, and the son or husband are all eating different flour products. And Elliot and the family do not. They don't eat the cake because they forgot about it. We see the neighbors
pancakes,
biscuits. They didn't eat pancakes. And Ellie didn't eat those raisin cookies that she were making. But we saw the scenes of them stuffing it into the old lady's mouth that whole time.
Right.
First one to turn.
Biscuits.
Yeah, they were
I was like, it probably came from the flour plant.
Take these cordyceps.
That's how it spread everywhere. And then we get basically a detailed answer of him saying, yeah, all the food came in on the same day, so everybody was all eating the flour at the same time. And everybody got sick then.
And you could just see
that could happen. I was like, damn, that could probably happen if some kind of organism could affect our food supply like that, because we are a global society.
Yeah,
what you want to say, we trade with everybody and get stuff from everybody. So,
so then the gluten-free crew was instantly surviving.
The only one surviving. I told you gluten was bad. I think that's the worst. That they would be proven right.
Everybody doing low carb in Atkins is screaming like, "We're winners!" They
still gotta win this episode.
Oh yeah, well they gotta win sometime.
But yeah, I do like how that they how he kind of lingers on that pancake mix part because he's just like thinking back to his daughter making him pancakes. And I mean, I think obviously you're going to remember the date that the world turned to shit. But it's also like the day that his daughter died, and just like the kind of conviction and feelings that he has for that moment. I think Ellie says something about like, "Oh, how'd you get that scars? Like, did you suck in general? Like, were you like a big pussy? I bet you're a big pussy, aren't you?" And he's just like thinking about his dead daughter. He's just like, "Yeah, I fucking suck." Like, damn. Okay. And we get this, they come across just like bones in a field. And it is, what is it? It's like just people that couldn't be accepted into like the QZ zones where everyone is safe.
Like those new societies.
And
it's so twisted too, because I mean, to start the episode of the part of the episode where we meet, Bill, and it transports you back to like what this skeleton looked like as a human getting onto this truck. And the most fucked up part that I thought was like the army is still taking their bags as if to be like, no, yeah, we got you. Like, we're taking your stuff. Like, bring your things. It's gonna be good. And like only to what, a few miles outside of the town, just like shoot people, throw them out, off the road. Yeah. Like how like savage is that?
It's then fucked up.
It really made me think. I'm like, well, yeah, that could probably be a thing. Like, and that's fucked up to even think that way.
Yeah. It kind of. Oh, sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
It kind of puts Tess's words that she always said to Joel in perspective, save who you can. Because they know that these militaristic bastards are out there just popping people and willy-nilly just, restructuring society the way that they feel it should be and not the way that it kind of should be. Because it's overly harmful at the end, to police state everything.
Mm-hmm. Who else talking about the police state is Alex Jones. Alex Jones talk about the police state.
Yeah, Alex Jones.
I'm about to do it.
How does Alex Jones feel about this episode?
We've got the documents to prove that the government has not bringing people into the QZs. They have been executing people, shooting them point blank range. We've got the documents to prove. Black helicopters have been seen oversight. Like, do not eat flour, ladies and gentlemen.
I saw there was some frog. There was a frog on the piano.
Right? Sure, the freaking frogs.
What about the frogs?
We all know that the frogs have been gay, and that's probably why Bill was doing that. He lived in that house with the frog. Like, we all know. They had probably eat the flour. They did not change, but they may have became gay.
Oh man.
Damn. That's spot on.
Rant over.
We survived at Alex Jonesing.
Thanks. Thank you, Alex. Thank you, Alex. Please do not come back. Now, yeah, that transition though, because it is like heartbreaking when you realize that, like, okay, then they could have just like stayed where they were, and just kind of like figured it out for themselves. Nick Offerman could have like saved them all, to be honest, if he was leading this whole town. But yeah, this transition, let's see if I can get to the right moment without getting completely fucked over. But the transition between the present and the past, I was like, oh, we're getting another flashback right in the middle of the episode. That's like a really strange move. And then I was just like, oh no, it's very purposeful how they're setting it up, because it leads into the character of Bill. And I think I could show these bones. Let me play these bones. But this transition, that was like,
look at that little baby.
I was just like, oh no, that's not a baby. That's not a dead baby. Oh, it's a dead baby. Okay.
That is so sad.
And yeah, it is just like really just heartbreaking there. But I think just masterfully crafted to lead us into meeting Bill and the character he is. And we get these kind of like, last man on earth montage with him. Like, now he gets full reign. I was like, okay.
Bro, I felt so happy for him.
And I also felt so woefully underprepared if something like that ever happened. I'd be like,
well, yeah, I'm going with the cops, I guess. Like, if it's push comes to shove, I don't have a basement.
Right.
Well,
I need to build me a double basement right now. It was slick. I mean, like, it was like hidden underneath that big trunk, and I was like, "Ooh, I like that."
Yeah,
It's smart. I had a whole ladder situation on there. It was he was with it.
Yeah, he didn't have to be worried at all.
Bill is just Ron Swanson if you preferred a Pinot Noir or a glass of bourbon. He
classier.
Here's a little tidbit. He preferred Beaujolais, which is it's actually mostly Beaujolais is actually cheaper than most Pinot Noirs. Beaujolais, I think the most I've ever paid for a Beaujolais is like $24. It's pretty okay. It's a bit watered down. It's like a watered down red blend, but it's actually just a particular grape that comes from a particular region of France. I know a lot about Beaujolais.
All right, and that is our wine talk segment. I was like, I just like to
I stay on that $14 wine level, so that second bottom shelf where I live. So
they have $14 Beaujolais that taste better than the $24 ones. I'll tell you that.
Oh, shit, get it.
Okay.
The one that what's his name drank. I've had that one before, and I think that one's between a $14 and $18 bottle, depending on if they have it on sale. So it's pretty mid tier, and I enjoy that one.
He goes to the Home Depot, which
Smart
is like boarded up.
Oh,
yeah, that's a good
so
choice.
Great.
Like that, I was like, I don't know how to restart the power at the power plant.
That was another big thing. I was just like, yeah, if the power's out, then the power's out. I'm fucked. That's it. Yeah. Game over. But he's like, oh, I'm going to go to the power station. I'm going to turn this valve. I'm going to like press all the buttons and stuff. I'm like, oh, okay. You can just go and do that, I guess.
Right.
And then he's got this big old generator.
His generator.
He's chopping wood like Captain America and shit.
His electric fences, like the best I could do would be a picket fence half done. I'm fucked.
Right.
Not going well for me.
Like our battery up to it, so you touch it, you'll stop. But his shit was elaborate.
For his fucking traps, he's got like 6-foot holes built up, and I'm like, yeah, I'm digging like a little divvy, like a little moat that people could probably just step over. I may trip you off if you try to rush at me, then I may trip you, but
might get those ankles. That's about it.
Not full on trapping you Home Alone style.
Yeah, exactly.
For real.
He's hanging up meat. Like he's Rocky. Yeah. I was like, damn, is he about to just start beating the shit out of this thing or what?
Stay in shape.
Dinners were like on point.
Yeah.
What's that?
Like every dinner he made, like the dinners he was making for himself, I was like, damn, that looked good.
Oh, yeah.
He knew exactly what's up.
Oh, boy, no,
he had his shit together. Butter reduction? What is that?
Like,
that was cleaning the pan.
Like,
this is way of cleaning the pan and keeping the trimmings.
He's lucky that people don't smell his food. Like, you know,
fat.
Get a whiff of that and start floating over like you're a cartoon character and shit.
That's true.
That's probably how Frank found him.
Probably the smell of the food.
But yeah, and he's just got all of these traps.
Yeah, this one was clever though. That gun with the tripwire.
This is good news.
I was just waiting for it to like once he got set up. It's like so he has to like go and take care of the thing, right? And
he's got to go reset
it and reset it. Yeah. And then move it out the way so other people like it aren't like, oh, I gotta not walk into that. Huh.
I'm telling you, it's so elaborate. I love it.
Yeah.
And he has such a good time watching his creation to just kill things. It's so great.
Yeah, but electric fence.
That's
crazy.
Next level. Yeah. But so smart later on.
Right, absolutely. And then so shortly after this, we meet Frank, who I thought would be, I wasn't sure. I don't know anything about. I'm like, oh, he's just sort of this in and out character. I wonder if we'll ever see him again. Well, we see him for the whole episode, but it's sort of it's a rather interesting meet cute story. You know, imagine
exactly. And it's 4 years later that it says.
Right.
I was like, damn, he's been thugging alone for 4 years. That is, I feel like you're just still, I can't imagine just kind of being alone for 4 years.
Yeah.
And just
Like
kind of like doing
completely
my own thing. Like you must have had to already have like lived that lifestyle before the apocalypse and like have been kind of like a paranoid whatever you want to call it,
paranoid introvert.
Introvert, yeah.
I got the sense he was just introverted, and they kind of implied maybe closeted too. So I think human interaction was low.
Right. But yeah, it is a fun little interaction here with Frank. Hopefully, maybe we can play just a little bit of that.
Yeah.
Just a little.
Don't get us demonetized now.
I like how he's just like,
"Are you armed?"
This part right here.
Such like a hunter stance.
That long to answer.
He's just like, because like I was just like, yeah, that was way too long to wait.
Yeah.
Like you should not have taken that long to answer. He's just
I know. I thought about lying for some reason, but the reason didn't come. I'm just trying to get to Boston.
But yeah, it's just like a really nice little meeting between these guys.
Yeah.
And when did I figure it out? Oh, it was definitely like in this scene where he's just like, okay, you know, come take a shower or whatever. He got some clothes for him. And then like I was just like the way he's just kind of lingering around, I was like,
yeah.
Okay.
It was like how he was loving the shower for so. I was like, and just when they presented the food and they were talking and they were pouring the wine, it was like I bet you didn't think I was the type of guy to know that about pairing the wine with the rabbit. And then he was like, no, I knew you were the type. And I was like, there it is. Called it. That's how this romance kicks up, because this is very awkward to start with, but I want to see.
Yeah.
And I gotta remember this. The way he pours that wine bottle, though. The way he like I feel like he always like like
how does he
I just love that he's just like,
it's so fancy.
check out what it is. Like I will show you the bottle and then I'll pour. I was like, oh, I gotta remember that. I'm gonna
the bottles have a lot of those bottles have like the thing like it's like inverted inside, so you can just sort of put your thumb in and hold it from the bottom. Yeah.
But
you know what I thought was cute?
I never did it.
is something they do at the beginning and then they do it at the end. Is when he presents the food to him, he kind of tilts it one way, but right before he starts eating it, he tilts it all the way around. Like, oh, I'm not going to start eating from this side. And like in the very last scene, he does the exact same thing again, where he puts the plate down, then he tilts it one way, and then he's like, no, turn it all the way this way. There it is, where he tilts it, or he shifts the plate around.
That smile.
His face, he's just like, what?
Can't wait.
Let me shift it.
Right there,
and then he shifts it.
He's like, I'm in love already.
Most of these people are surviving on an old can of beans and a prayer. So he's like 5-star chef restaurant in it.
And yeah, it must have been, it's 4 years after everything went to shit. So he's haven't had a meal like that in ages. What we have here, Joseph Nowlin. I feel like Frank played long time too fast, knowing damn well Bill was going to have to correct him with the real version. Okay.
Yeah, like he set him up.
That's the name of the episode as well, too, right? Long time.
Long time.
Yeah, I got a little bit confused on that. Nice.
I feel like it's a twofold thing. I feel like it is that, right? That sort of subtle invitation to be like, well, if I do that, but it's also like a very nod to like who these two characters are with how they play this song, very two different ways. Like Frank is a bit more out there, is a bit more, he's louder, whereas Bill's a little bit more tamer and he'll take his time with things. And so I thought it was a great dual layer moment to see exactly what Joseph's talking about, but also their character come out with how they played this particular song, each different way.
That's actually, that's good. That's good. But here's where Terry's talking about that look when he adjusts it to like a different
dude.
He's just
I saw that.
hey,
I
what
saw
the
that.
fuck? Like, come on, no. I tilted it this way for you. Very good stuff. True.
It's
Actual
like the little details that make somebody human, like the plate turn and the way he's just very excited in his early scenes, like kind of jumpy, and he doesn't want to startle Bill, but he also wants to like really jump in there already with Bill and get to know him, speed through that like initial phase of, so who are you? And I thought that was kind of cool.
It was good. Let's see here.
And then just like saying
on at my side.
He's like, no. This will not
wrong.
He's like, you need to get out of my house now.
But like the little bit of like the tenderness though that with Ron Swanson
plays with.
Yeah, so like what I noticed is that how Frank was playing it was very like kind of like more robotic and like more, but how Bill was playing it was like kind of like he was tickling those ivories, you know what I mean? Like he was like, oh, I'm going to be gently moving these fingers and gliding them across. I was like, okay, so that's like a little bit of a reversal of how we would perceive each of them to play play their role.
But that's exactly how both of them again are, right? Like one's a little bit more harder on the keys, the other one's a little bit more softer on the keys, and I just think it was just really good representations of who they are as they played that. Now what I did love about going next, and it fast forwards to 3 years, is the scene immediately starts with the argument, and it's like fast forward 3 years, and I'm like, oh, they're in a relationship. Oh, that's what everybody does in 3 years. They argue. That's cute.
Or actually, I like how they got together, they went at it first night, but it was what Frank said to him. It's like, I'm not doing this just for one dinner.
I'm not a whore.
I'm not a whore. If we do this, I am living here now.
I'm staying.
Yeah.
I'm worth more than
you live in there, man. Don't have him kick you out. It's apocalypse, bro. I don't blame you.
And you can cook? Damn.
Lock that shit down in the apocalypse.
Lock that down.
That's when I started sending you guys the two bears heart emoji. I'm like, what the hell?
But yeah, then it's just like 3 years later, just fuck you.
Fuck you.
This scene is utterly hilarious. Like, it's just these two guys just arguing, and I'm just like, it's so great. But I think the thing, again, as somebody that hosts a dating relationship podcast, is like, he finally gets to the core. He's like, well, what are you wanting to do? Like, what is it the thing you're wanting to do? He's just like, I just want to clean, I just want, but he's like, all right, we got people coming over. You know what I mean? Like, there is always something at the core. There's always some reason. And once you get past the fight, or once you try to communicate it out, you find out what it is. And in this case, it was beautiful because like, it's our introduction to the fact that they know, what's her name? Tess and Joel. And this is how we're introduced that they are all sort of come upon each other or connected. Yeah, that's a great word for it. And so this is like where the moment where you're like, here's some back, some context for the tie-in of like why they know these guys, and like, oh, they're gonna start to have supplies with each other. Oh, maybe this is where they get their drugs from, right? Like it starts to tie in a lot of like things like that for like what we've seen so far.
They're radio friends. I love how he's like, and I want to get this together. Like, for what? Because like, we're gonna have friends over. Like, we don't have friends over. I was like,
God damn it.
One doesn't like want to be bothered. The other one's like, no, we have friends. They're coming over.
We're going to.
We
have
know
friends.
people. Yeah.
Shout out Film Age Studios. Thanks for stopping by. Leave a motherfucking
Yes, sir.
like. But yeah, this is like one of my favorite lines of the episode right here.
Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot. I live in this world. You live in a psycho bunker where 9/11 was an inside job and the government are all Nazis.
The government are all Nazis!
Well, yeah, now, but not then.
He's like, oh, they both got a point. He's like, I was right about this shit turning to hell, but like honestly, you weren't actually right from like the perspective of like everyone being a Nazi and out to get you.
One of the best scenes. That's like one of the best moments of the episode.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It was very shocking to then get that moment with Tess and Joe.
Mm-hmm.
And I like the fact that they did the de-aging process so well. Like that's probably how they look now,
Yeah.
which means the fact that they aged them up when we see them in these last two episodes. It's subtle, but it's like, oh, it's noticeable. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Did you
and
see
so
the after interview?
No.
Like the after interview, what they do after the episode, and they showed what Nick Offerman is looking like right now.
Yeah.
Like almost like he is so clean cut, like me,
Yeah.
no beard whatsoever, baby face. It's
Oh,
so
wow.
weird.
Yeah.
But like the other guy, he still like Murray. When they showed him, he still kind of looks like he still has his hair and the beard going on. But Nick Offerman just does not look like that anymore.
Mm-mm.
I mean, they did a great job with.
Can you not, please?
Yeah, so like this is just how they look.
Yeah.
He's just like gun on the table, like fuck you guys. I'll maybe put the safety on, but I'm not gonna. But like, I love how Joel is just like eating, and he's just like, nah, I kind of fuck with this dude. Like, I really understand. I get where you're coming from.
Yeah.
Like, I'm looking at your fence over there.
They get it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of how they are in the game. They're not like best buddies, but they're familiar enough with each other and they've traded enough with each other that they just have like a cool detachment from one another and a camaraderie. But it never, they're not going to be friends. Like he tries to kill him in the game before he realizes that they're not there to kill him. So that's the vibe.
They are coworkers.
Yeah, they are coworkers at that.
But yeah, like he just shows kind of like the prowess that Nick Offerman was a prepper or whatever, but Joel, he worked construction. So he like looks over at that fence and he's just like, you're gonna need to redo that whatever is going to be corroded very soon, so we can help each other out. So I was like, oh yeah, these guys would make a very good team. And I was wondering, I was like, why don't Joel and Tess just live there?
It seems like they like running a lot.
Yeah.
I guess that was kind of the thing.
Joel and Tess are for the streets for sure.
Yeah. They're for the streets.
Well, it just kind of feels like both in the show and the game, Joel's not he's out to survive, but he doesn't give a fuck if he dies either. He's just so broken and so out of himself throughout the events of the game until he kind of starts to bond with Ellie, and we'll start to see that on the show.
So yeah, here's the thing, because I was picking up that like Tess and Joel were kind of like not even really romantically together as much as they were just partners in crime.
Yeah.
In the game, are they like actually like together or
no?
Like
So they do the same thing where they imply that relationship. Like they kind of, the way that they set it up is they probably are two people that fucked just because they were there. But they're not by any means dating or, in love with one another. They both know what the fuck it is and that they're better as partners and, runners and scavengers and whatever the hell else they're up to without that complicating things.
Okay.
Interesting.
Yeah.
All right.
That's good. I'm gonna have to
But
play
it's,
this
it's
game.
very
one
human
time.
the way that they kind of imply that they probably still hooked up, because who else are you going to do in the apocalypse?
Right. It's like, yeah, like what else
at that point,
can you do? There's
Right?
nothing. I cannot imagine just like not being able to hop on YouTube or watch a video or
Yeah,
anything. I'll just be like, you gotta go throw bodies in the pit again.
right. Yeah.
Like that's like what we're doing.
It's your life.
Jacking it at night is probably going to wear off pretty quickly and get real sad real fast. So,
Right.
go find another person.
Yeah. Jesus. But there was a little surprise for Frank did on Bill, the strawberry pit, and I was just like, oh, look at him just giggling from these. And like one of the sweetest lines in the episode, I would say. Let's see here.
I was never afraid before you showed up.
I was like, oh.
Now you have something to be afraid for.
Oh, yeah, I was just like, okay, this is a fantastic episode.
Pulling out all the heartstrings.
Yeah, it really got to me there. And they're rated, and we kind of see like the
predicted and told them.
Yeah,
like there will be raiders. Yeah, and I do like how when Frank wakes up and realizes what's going on, Bill is already in the thick of it.
Yeah.
Like he's like not only just in the thick of it, he's just like, oh no, it's mano and mano, just me.
Yeah.
Bring your whole crew.
Yeah, and he's easily picking. I have to say,
right.
I love Frank's gun because I have the exact same gun. When he reached for it, I was like, "Oh my god, that's the Walter PP7!" I love that gun. It's tiny, and when you shoot it, you can be all like, "Boom!" and really get him. I was like, "Yeah, I bet he has that."
Move right there, Terry.
Don't fuck with Terry, guys.
he's got the James Bond gun. Yeah,
the man on the edge. Now all you need is a basement, and then you got this.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Yeah. But
Bill
got shot.
That's what James Bond had, the Walter PPK. Yeah. So
James Bond gun.
Dang Terry. Terry's about to go on. No wonder he is a secret agent. He goes on all the missions with his Walter PP7 and just like he smokes and he just shoots people. That's all he does.
Boom!
I'm Terry. Producer Terry.
But on this scene, we notice, he so Bill's a killer. Bill is a killer.
Yeah.
He is right there in front of them, and he's just picking them off one by one. But he doesn't let his guard down and doesn't get hit until he stops paying attention when he sees Frank out there.
Mm-hmm. He's got to make sure he's safe.
I got this. Well, yeah, he's just out in the thick of it.
And that throws him off.
Then bam, got him. Oh, just kind of like noticing that like where he got shot is also like in that scene where they're running and he's like out of shape and he's like holding his side. And he's like holding that same area too. Might be a reach. I think it's a reach, but whatever.
Stop reaching.
You got to reach for the stars, A little bit of a fake out. Bill is fine.
Oh, major fake
10
out.
years later.
Redirect and just not as
like
all what I was expecting.
Yeah, I thought they were going to really change it up and kill him off. I was like, oh, shit.
Yeah. Crazy move.
I kind of thought he died. And then when you see that, they're both still alive, who was in that wheelchair was not who I thought it was going to be.
Right. I thought that was for sure Bill at that point. They was like, oh, they got me. They got me.
10 years later, it's like, oh, he is not looking so hot.
Because when I started crying and did not stop the rest of the episode. It
gets pretty brutal. It does get pretty brutal from here. Desmond. Yeah, absolutely, Desmond. Great. Fantastic episode. I think everyone loved this episode. From my surprise, everyone has been loving every episode of that show.
Yeah. I haven't missed yet.
And I get like, so is The Last of Us like a gay game then? I don't know, because I felt like if anything, like this episode would cause like pushback from people just because I know how the gaming community is about certain things.
It gets gayer in the sequel, where they
Okay.
just full blown or in just whatever in it up and down, and people are, Ellie gets a girlfriend. Sorry to spoil that for anybody that hasn't played the sequel game, but just la la la. But I feel like that first game, like anything, when it came out, they were still trying to strike that balance of, well, we can't please everybody, but we need to please the majority. And the way they felt about it was the majority of gamers did not want to see overtly gay characters. And I think as they sort of figured out that things were changing and a lot of that toxic gamer community shit was ebbing off, they sort of added in more or reaffirmed it. But everything's sort of implied up until you get like the little LED DLC where it kind of explains how she got bit. And then it's very explicitly stated. But up until then, she drops little hints, kind of like she did. And I think it was the second episode where they asked if she had a boyfriend. She's like, no boyfriend.
Right.
Yeah. So you
When
you get
the
a lot of
second
that.
storyline dropped, there was some hate, which is whack, which is definitely whack. But yeah, like I was on your point here, Desmond. I was like very wondering. I was like, okay, here comes the flood of the homophobic game haters, and I've heard nothing but praise from everybody. And I was like, wow, okay, good shit.
I heard some shit on Twitter today from some surprising people that I have some friends even where I'm like, whoa, where it was not gay pushback so much as they were like, oh, it's gay pandering. And just because two characters are gay as an ally doesn't mean that you may have felt that way, but the way that they crafted the story was very well handled. It wasn't pandering, it wasn't wokeism or any other words that people want to throw around these days. I think it was just really well written.
Yeah, and that's how if anything, like this should be kind of like a benchmark of like more inclusive stories and how they handle it. Just like like who would have thought just making good stories would work out for them. It's a revolutionary idea.
It's like a good story and they happen to be gay, rather than it's a gay story and then it happens to be good.
You're right. Yeah,
exactly. So what do you think that Frank has here? Is it like ALS or like
I'm thinking cancer?
Cancer.
Oh, okay.
All those pills.
It was beautiful. Honestly, and gaming should be pushing us to more inclusive stories. I mean, there's not a lot of other places to go. Like, I don't want to have always a story of just like one white dude saving one white chick in a castle, right? Like it's gotta switch up eventually. Jesus. With all those pills, it must be like cancer. I was thinking like because they said like there's no cure for this when we were when the world was, so I was like, there's some cures for cancer, like there's some type of chemo or whatever. So I think maybe something a bit more definitive.
Like maybe like bone cancer because he was so thin and he couldn't walk or, really pick anything up.
Yeah.
Something.
And
but I like that they added those little bits in there. Like, they didn't have a cure for this back in the day. And then they also mentioned like, getting married and how I think they did say something about it wasn't legal. Because the world stopped in
2003. Like it hadn't gotten. Yeah, I was watching some video on this, and like it hadn't gotten approved until like later on in 2003. But at that time, it wouldn't have been a thing that they would have even thought about could be legal, could actually happen. So it was a dream sort of left unfulfilled in the world, to where in their world it just couldn't exist unless. They're like, well, I guess we got to do that. But like there's no points of context like we have now, right? Like that's sort of where we have to you have to think back and you have to transport yourself and be like, oh, right. Yeah. Like the world stopped for them in September, 2003, and it didn't go forward. And it was interesting to be like, stop and think like, Oh yeah, like when they said that line, I was like, oh yeah, they wouldn't have. That wouldn't have been a thing.
Do you think he had AIDS?
No. Who would he caught AIDS from, Terry?
I don't know. He was just like, I was just like, one of them keep calling me like,
I mean, it's not that far fetched.
Because he was also just taking like a cocktail of pills. So I was just trying to think of.
And a lot of the time they do lose the ability to care for themselves. So,
but it's like 15 years since they've known each other, so it's like.
Yeah, but he could have had it before he met him, and then
some general store.
Like 5 years to kill him. So I don't know. I don't think they wanted to mention it. I think they let people draw their own conclusions. Is it cancer? Is it AIDS? Because if they did explicitly come out and said AIDS, people would have definitely been like, gay, gay pandering.
I felt they left it. I felt it was left unknown, so you could insert yourself into that situation.
Yeah, so you find your own humanity in the story.
I was inserting myself into this situation, and I was like, "Oh fuck!" But I've had more good days with you than with anyone else.
Right?
Just like I was like, "Oh," and then I think like,
so
what's going on is that he starts. He's just like starts crying. I was like, oh, and Frank looks just rough. I was like, oh my god, this is really, really the end here coming up. And he describes what his perfect day would be. You know, go shopping, get married, have a fantastic dinner, which is the same dinner from the beginning of the episode.
Very first dinner.
Yeah.
And it's like, wow, that is heartbreaking.
And then they do the plate thing. It's the plate thing. Look,
and it's the same wine.
Yeah, presents it to him one way, and it's like, yeah,
they drink the same wine too.
And then he switches it. Nice, nice. I did not catch that. That's awesome.
I saw that.
Losing all his strength to turn it too.
It's the same. It's the same Beaujolais.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's the same brand of Beaujolais.
Damn.
Yeah. Nice to end it the way they started it. It's just very.
But I did not see it coming where like he was also.
Oh, I totally did. Because I was thinking it the whole time. I was just like, this dude is surly and hates everybody. I was expecting him to like take the pill powder and then dump half of it, like he was gonna split it. I was for sure. I was like, oh, he's definitely got to kill himself too. There's no way he's gonna survive. He's gonna kill himself right with him.
That was a lot of powder, like that. He kept pouring that shit. I'm like, you could have killed him like a half pour ago.
Right? Yeah.
I was like, that's a lot of powder.
I think 10 aspirin will do it, buddy. Like,
you gonna get lit. It's like Molly.
Yeah. Out the fuck.
Only this shit'll kill you.
But yeah, they go into their room like one last time, pushing him. I was just like, Jesus.
I went through a whole box of tissues, fellas. I could not stop crying. It just hits so well.
Super sad tearjerker.
Try not to. The episode was later so well, helping me understand that the U.S. in the title refers to United States.
Oh, the last
of us, not just us, but the United States. Okay.
I see what you're doing, Desmond. I like it. Keep doing it.
Yeah.
But Joel, we get back to Joel and Ellie, and I was just like, oh my god. Who was that? Google? Was that a Google that?
Siri turned on.
Siri turned on. But yeah, and this part right here with Joel trying to get into the room, but Ellie has found the letter.
Oh.
To whomever, probably Joel.
There's also that little like, Jesus. Ellie, why are you so fucking weird, dude?
Anybody else would have probably you, Joel, because anyone else would have been killed by the fence.
It's a bit good.
Mhm. You want
Yeah, this is
Never blown up by one of my traps.
Damn it.
anyone else would have been electrocuted or blown up by one of my traps.
She just looks at him like,
It was good to have that little break though, because I think
Yeah.
it needed a little laugh. Like,
yeah.
it was intense.
I did need a little bit of respite from
Yeah.
but yeah,
We have a
And-
job to do.
this broke Joel a
And
little
God
bit
help
here.
any motherfuckers who stand in our way. I leave you all of my weapons and equipment. Use them to keep.
That was the
And
moment.
I was just like, oh,
Yeah.
yeah, and that just hurts because like she was literally just like a day away from them inheriting that whole land, and
Everything
they were going to be able to do everything they want, and he could have like picked up, and it's just like, man, can't have shit in the apocalypse, man.
He just keeps
Yeah.
losing people.
So
Yeah.
close to.
Yeah.
And yeah, the one person that he would have had been able to have some type of life with, gone.
Yeah.
Gone. But they do have all the supplies they need. Joel still wants to get to his brother. Ellie still wants to get a gun.
Kills from the house.
But she gets one.
They get all cleaned up.
She gets her little PPK too. I was like, yeah, get it.
And first time in a fucking car. Like, that's funny.
Yeah.
Right?
Seatbelt.
She's like,
Seatbelt.
what does that mean?
What
are you
What are
is
you
a
talking
seatbelt?
about?
What is a seatbelt?
Well, and that was a callback
cool.
to
Is that
episode 1 where he told Sarah, his daughter, to put her seatbelt on and she wouldn't in the backseat. Yeah.
Okay.
That's why he reaches over so aggressively because he's like, I don't want to walk down that memory.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, should need that Linda Ronstadt song. I mean, you do know.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Shiva was hilarious. Oh yeah, that's one.
Mm-hmm.
That is a knee jerk.
That's so great. That's so great.
Yeah.
Let's see here, but they are.
Oh, this is good. This is Linda Ronstadt. Do you know who Linda Ronstadt is?
No, I don't know who Linda Ronstadt is.
It's like, bitch, you know that shit. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, I
I
don't
only know Mortal Kombat and murder.
Yeah, but
He's like, oh, excuse me. But yeah, they're off driving into the sunset. But this is like the last thing that got me was as they were driving into the sunset, we get
the
this
window.
shot.
The
Yeah.
one
And
that's
I was
open.
just like-
The one that's open.
Yeah. And I was just like,
Yeah.
No. Yeah. so
They
good.
got you so close that you were like, oh God. And
I
then
don't want to see
done.
it. Yeah. And then
Yeah.
it's just done. Boom. God.
one and done episode.
Yeah. I like
I
the
love
fan
it.
on that window though, because it's peaceful to look out of it if you don't think about the dead people that are behind that
You're
camera.
right.
And it's like the last bit of peace Joel and Ellie are gonna get this whole trip. Not that it's been like a cakewalk, but it gets fucked from here. So
Oh dear. Oh dear.
It's all downhill.
But
All
also, isn't in the window thing that's a video game? The reference to the start screen.
it's the menu screen. There's like the breeze coming through the window before you,
Yeah.
play the game. Yeah,
I feel like
so
they try
many.
to tie that in when they can in the show,
Yeah.
which I appreciate.
You meant Mortal Kombat here, but I'm gonna keep it as Mortal Mom.
Yeah.
Not Mortal Mom. Was
Character
fire.
alert.
But then love Mortal Mom. Mortal Mom 11. That's my shit, bro.
Bruh.
The menu screen. Yeah, that's pretty interesting.
Oh,
So wait,
man.
what are you guys saying? This is like what?
When the start screen on the video game, it starts off with
Yeah.
the windows like this, with it's open and the wind sort of breezing
Hey,
through it.
Mhm.
okay. So like
Yeah.
when you're like picking your save file and
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Start the game up. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Nice.
Yes.
Mhm.
So
Morbid, but nice. Little detail.
all right,
Yeah.
let's go around the table real quick. Let's start with you, Kirsten. On a scale of 1 to 10, what did you rate this episode?
I would say it's hard for me to give anything a 10 out of 10 because I know what's coming, and that's probably going to be where we get our 10 out of 10 episodes, but pretty much 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10. This was phenomenal writing, great acting, even just the little details like Bill getting older and how he shuffled around the table to put his plate down, because he's the older of the two of them, it's that kind of little, intricacies that they build into these episodes that make them so great.
Fantastic. Yeah. All right. So as close as 10 we can get as possible. Producer Terry, what did you think? What did you rate this episode?
Perfect 10. I just went on IMDb and gave it a 10 there too.
Yeah.
Because unfortunately, this episode is the lowest ranked so far at 8.3.
Yeah, 8.3. Okay. I mean, that's still pretty high. That's the lowest.
What?
Yeah.
8.3 though, because the last two episodes we had 9.3, and the first episode was a 9.2. So this is the first one and an 8.
I would have given this a 9.2, 9.3, 9.5, like something like that.
I thought it would have a high 9. I thought it would have been the highest so far.
Yeah.
As far as the whole project goes, I'm having a hard time ranking it with what I've already seen, just because I've liked each episode for different reasons. But for what they're going for, I just can't imagine any better type of execution than what we got, right? So I'm going to give it like that 9 to 10 ranking there. Again, like we got still so much more of the season to go, but I mean, they've just been nailing it every episode. It's really impressive.
Yeah,
really impressive
Factuals.
Stuff. What about you,
Blake
Weather?
Yeah, like I said, I would have at least started at a 9.2, worked my way up maybe to a 9.5, depending. But I don't think an 8.3 for this episode does it justice. Like it's way too much of a story, and it pulls you in all these directions. And maybe that's why people didn't like it. Maybe that's why they rated a little bit lower, because like they don't want to have to feel things besides being scared and action and sort of the thrill aspect of it all. But like this in a nutshell, in a vacuum, as far as the story goes, like. I don't know if you get anything much better. It's very heartfelt and it's got some action. Like it should please everybody that likes all the genres of movies. So I don't really know what people's problem with it is, but I definitely would have ranked it a good, again, between 9.2, 9.5.
Oh, 9? Jesus. Sorry. I'm going through the trivia right now. And this is so sad. This episode includes a flashback of Tess, and then the voice actor of the video game Tess, like just passed away.
Yeah,
that is weird. Like her character passes away like the episode prior, and then literally, when was this?
At first I thought it said that the actress who played her in the TV show.
Yeah,
what?
Yesterday.
I was like, oh, that's still sad, but. Man, that's weird though.
That is really weird. So sad. R.I.P. I just wanted to look at a couple. We can close out. So I was just wanting to see if there's any cool trivia. If you guys
is there any cool trivia?
There may be some here, but keep it going. Keep it going.
Yeah, I mean, this
All
episode
right.
was definitely unexpected. I was kind of expecting more action-packed, more probably shooting and zombies. Didn't get that, and you know what? I didn't want that. I apparently I didn't even want that. I was lying to myself with what I wanted in this episode.
Terry, you don't even know what you want for yourself.
Like that's why I give it a 10. Like based on, I'm not basing it on anything. I'm basing it on was that good television or not?
Yeah, and it was. Well, and even people that are hardcore fans of the game are, if they're looking for this to be constant action, then I don't know what game they played, because sometimes you have some really slow travel moments where there's a couple of clickers, or you see no one, or it's just humans that are the aggressors. So it's just a little up and down, and it's very much a human interest story, even in the game. So maybe that 8.3 came from people who aren't familiar with that and are coming in blind, and we're like, I thought this was an action TV show, like you guys are saying, zombies constantly. And if that's what they're looking for, then they're going to be disappointed, because
Go watch Walking Dead. Get out of here with that bullshit is what she's saying.
You're just setting yourself up to not really give something a chance, because you're expecting it to be Walking Dead if you've never you don't have any references other than that.
Right that makes sense.
It's a show for the rest of us.
It's for the rest of us.
And the last of us. Let's go ahead and wrap this up. Nine, don't make me go down this rabbit hole. Don't make me get Alex Jones again. He'll come out again.
No, it's okay. It's okay. We don't need it. Next week. Let's
go ahead and wrap up this episode. Kirsten, thank you so much for coming on and joining our crazy crew.
Thank you, guys,
for another week of this episode. For sure. Kirsten, where can people find you if they want to reach out to you and talk all things Last of Us related?
I am on pretty much every social media platform, including stupid ass Mammoth. No offense to them, but it's not great. It's my name at Kirsten Cobb, or at Kirsten_Cobb on almost every platform. It's Instagram's usually the underscore, and then Facebook's my name.
Fantastic.
All right.
Fantastic. Go reach out to her. Go bug her with all your Last of Us questions.
I love it. Thank you, guys. This was awesome.
For sure. Absolutely. Producer Terry, where can people find you if they want to send you hate mail?
You can get me at my Instagram, but it's better to reach me at PenDependence.co right now. So you can get these fresh ass 9NerdYard Atlanta exclusive pins. Look at that.
That's shit. They're so exclusive. I don't even got one yet.
I'm real disappointed. Nobody won the contest that I said. If you said bring me something back, I was going to bring you something back from Japan, because that's where I'm going tomorrow. I'm going to Japan.
What?
No reason other than I can.
Bring me something back.
Where was this contest?
I put it on my Facebook. I was like, I'm gonna reveal where I'm going tomorrow, because I haven't said anything about it. And if you just type in "bring me something back," I will bring you something back. And nobody did, so it's like
on fucking Facebook.
If nobody wants anything back from Japan, then whatever.
Probably just on Facebook, Jerry. Like
Facebook, what the shit? Anyway, bring me something back.
Bring me something back. Just say it.
Us something.
Type it in the comments. Bring me something back.
Seriously.
Oh.
Yeah.
Dennis knows what's up. It's
I even got one. I already got my next month's trip plan. It's even crazier than that.
What?
All right, bring me something
What's
back.
crazier than that? Antarctica? What are you talking about?
You go to Mars, motherfucker?
He's going to India, folks.
Stay tuned.
He's not coming back. He's not coming back.
He bitch slapping everybody over there. That's what he's doing.
Oh my god!
Man, people are coming out the woodwork. This whole episode, Scott. Yeah, but honestly, you gotta bring Scott back something, bro. Seriously, you gotta bring Scott back something.
I love it. Everybody, go follow producer Terry right? Bring me something back. Go blow up his DMs and
order those
Yeah,
pins.
dude, now my phone's like going dun, dun. I was like, oh, but that's why I got that international driver's license. I'm gonna do that Mario Kart thing.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Wait, you have to have a driver's license to.
Yeah, because you're gonna be on the road, like
Operating a
okay,
motorized
okay.
vehicle.
Yeah.
All right.
You'd be
I
throwing
can't wait
banana
to see
peels.
that. That shit's gonna be cool.
Yeah, that's gonna be cool.
Yeah, it's gonna be dope. 9. Where can people find you if they don't want to send you hate mail, but if they just want to say hi? How you doing?
Oh, they can come right here, my dear boy, on YouTube, but also Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, even, and the 9NerdYards Discord. All of the links are in the description below. I actually even started another little Last of Us server, so you can drop in your information, want to talk about it with other people. We got 300 people in that server already, so come and join the conversation, come talk to us. I'll be posting links to like any little get-togethers or streams like this in the Discord ahead of time. So yeah, come around. And also my Patreon, $1, and
$1.
you can vote on different projects that I'm doing currently right now. My patrons voted for my next video to be over an hour long, so it is going to be an hour long and hopefully coming out this week. And yeah, thank you for joining the rest of us. And Blake, how about you?
What's
Where
up?
can people find you?
Yeah, you could find me, Money Blakeweather, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat. You could follow my podcast, Unfiltered Bachelor, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, or on your favorite podcast platform, anywhere podcasts are. That's where the show is. Yeah, feel free to reach out to me, whether it's about this show, whether you have any ideas about any movie you want to see us break down. We will, after this week, be breaking down and starting to break down the Dave series, returning to that in anticipation of April 5th of season 3 of Dave. So be on the lookout for that. And then this Thursday, tune in, folks. We are breaking down You People. And that'll be You People. You People. I just want to keep saying that. Just say you people.
I have some theories about why that was made.
Yeah, you do, Terry. So we're going to keep them hush until later.
We'll be sure to invite Alex Jones around.
And join us next week. Join us next week to talk about this show. I'm not sure if
every
Kirsten,
Monday.
if you could come back, that would be awesome.
Anytime. I'm up for it. This is fun.
Also, yeah, keep track of The Last of Us. We're here every Monday to break it down, and we do appreciate everybody in the chat right now. Desmond, Kenya, Scott, Joseph, Dion, Film Age Studios, all of y'all. Thank y'all so much for leaving comments. Everybody who click like, thank y'all so much. And whether you're listening to it live right now, haven't chimed in, we thank y'all. Or whether you're listening to this on the replay, morning, evening, afternoon, we do appreciate you. And until the next time, we will see you. Peace.